Hey, what's up guys, Sowerz here, and today I'm bringing another video to the channel, and the gameplay in the background is from a team scrim against Millennium with my new team. We're currently trying out a 4th at the moment, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this in the background. It's one of like the first team scrims we've actually played. We played this the other night, and I'm kind of going to talk about game types in this video, so as you can see by the title, kind of going to give my thoughts on what I think the game types should be, what's needed. I've kind of changed my opinions quite a bit on most of the game types since playing them. But I'm starting to enjoy the game a lot more than what I was at first in terms of 8s. I think in team scrims the game's a lot better than what it is in pick-up scrims and things like that, because people actually play for the win, and I think these game types very much are, that are being used at the moment, are pretty much based around playing as a team. I don't think the game types where you can kind of run off and do your own thing like you could in hardpoint 8s. You know, if you haven't got 4 people willing to work for flags and the objective, these game types kind of can be frustrating to play. So I'll kind of talk about each game type, why I think they should or shouldn't be in, and what I think the rules are going to be from what I know, which should be released pretty soon. The first game type that I want to talk about is Search and Destroy, because I think it's the one that's pretty easy to wrap up. And Search and Destroy, pretty much on every Call of Duty, has always worked pretty well, and I think this one is pretty much a similar case. I've played it quite a bit now in team scrims and stuff, and it works really well on most maps. Maybe not as much as well as other CODs, but still works well. I think the basic principles of it always mean that it's going to work well on COD, as long as the bomb sites are in good areas. And you know, from the maps I've seen that I've played, it does look pretty good, so I think that's almost guaranteed to be in the rule set. The other debate was whether Search and Rescue should replace it, but with Search and Rescue, the spawns when you get collect tags are so random you can spawn anywhere on the map, and I think that's one reason why it's kind of been ruled out, Search and Rescue, is because it's one of those game types where it's going to be a bit random because of the way the spawns are. If the spawns had been a bit different, maybe I kind of don't really know what position you could have put them in, but maybe somewhere where you spawn in a set position. But the thing with that is people could kind of wait there to try and pick people off spawn. So really, you know, I think that's something that needs to be worked on. You can't have Search and Rescue if people are going to spawn right, you know, randomly on the map, where you can spawn behind the opposition randomly, which has happened before from what I've played in it. So I think that's pretty much ruled that out, and it's going to be Search and Destroy most definitely in the competitive set. In terms of respawn modes, that's where we're really lacking, and obviously people have been complaining, I've been tweeting out, and a lot of people, that there needs to be an update in terms of rules, game modes, sorry, and hopefully there will be something like that will be updated. With Infinity Ward, you never know, they've never really in the past kind of updated games that much, like Treyarch did, or released patch notes and things like that. I guess we'll see on that. But at the moment, really the only 2 respawn modes that can be considered were Blitz and Domination, and I'll talk about Domination first. I've played that quite a lot, and at first I've kind of thought it was a bit slow, a bit campy, but the more I've played it, the more I've kind of realised it is a team game mode. You need 4 people who are willing to push flags, you need 4 people who are willing to kind of work for the team. I think if you don't have 4 people who are willing to do that, then you're going to struggle on it. You'll see in this gameplay right now, we've got a free cap going on, so it is possible to get a free cap, and once you kind of learn how the spawns work and when people spawn in a certain area, it is a pretty good game type. Currently playing with a 5-second respawn delay, which is what it's likely going to be, which kind of speeds it up a bit, means that you kind of got to make players more frequently because people spawn up quicker, and you can't waste any time trying to get on a flag. At first I thought it was a bit campy and a bit like people were sitting on the 2 cap and kind of holding back, but in my opinion, from what I've played of it, that's not the way to play it. You got to really push up, and at the moment we're playing with 3 SMGs, and it allows us to be aggressive. We're kind of switching it now and again, but we've kind of been using 3 SMGs and really pushing up and trying to push for that free cap, which, if that's how Domination turns out, then it won't be as bad as what people think, I don't think. Because at first people were kind of sitting and camping on the 2 cap, which you're just inviting the other team on if you do that, so I never thought that would work, and from what I've played, that's not the way to play it. From what I've been playing, we've tried to push for the free cap, and it seems to work pretty well. It's not as bad as what I'd thought, and I'm actually kind of enjoying Domination a lot more now. I think on certain maps it works a lot better, but saying that, it's no hardpoint and it's no CTF, and I'm not saying it's something that can be long term used, because I don't think in the long term it can be used, because I just think it'll get a bit stale. It's a predicted. On COD 4 it was good because COD 4 was such a good game and the maps were so well suited to Domination, but the maps on this aren't exactly perfect. I think the map that you're watching right now, Mohawk, is one of the best ones for Domination, and in general it's a pretty good map. I think it'd be good for CTF as well, but not all the maps are suited for Domination, and in general I think in the long term it will get a bit stale. The spawns, once you know the spawns, how to set up on a hill, it's kind of one of those game types where it's not very varied. People are going to play it pretty similar, and it'll get a bit stale in the long term. Hardpoint was such a dynamic game type that you could play it, you know, for a long period of time and not really get bored of it. It was a fast, frantic game type, which we're going to miss, I think. But Domination so far, for me, will be good enough for I-Series and kind of the first couple of months of the game. I don't think it'll be something that's going to be a major issue. But we definitely need game types for the game to succeed long term. I don't think Domination will last very long in terms of being interesting. And then the next game type for me to talk about is Blitz. I'm going to talk about some other stuff to do with the game later on, but mainly I want to talk about game types. But Blitz, at first I did say that it was atrocious, and I didn't really like it, and that was mainly based off of playing pickup scrims and certain maps. And the more I've played it, the more maps I've played, and the more I've played it in team scrims, I actually kind of have warmed to it a lot more. I think there's only a select few maps that it actually works on pretty well. I think Warhawk is one that we're playing right now. I think Freight is pretty good for it as well. So I think there'll be 2 maps that will be selected for it. And there'll be some other maps as well that I think can be brought into it. So yeah, I think Blitz is one of those game types that it's going to take a lot of getting used to, because at first when I've played it, I played it on some maps where you could just sneak around the back so easily, because it's an instant cap time as well. You could just get around the back alley, or go in an underground tunnel, which on a lot of these maps there seems to be, and sneak through and just jump straight into the hill and into their flag area, whatever it is, their point area, and get an instant score. And it didn't really require any teamwork from what I played at first. It was kind of, you could do your own thing and just sneak through and get a cap without even needing to fire your gun, which is just not right in my opinion. But when I played it on some maps like Warhawk for example, where you kind of can cut off the map pretty well, you kind of can get map control, then it's not too bad. I think if you've got maps where you can't get map control that easily, that's when it's going to be a terrible game type, because you won't need to get map control to get caps. So essentially you could have 2 people camp your flag and just 1 person sneaking up, and then 1 person kind of just lurking around the map trying to pick kills off. And that's not really what we want. We want game types where you're going to have to work as a team and push as a team, and that's why I think Blitz needs a cap time. It needs something where you're going to have to put a person on the point for 3 seconds or something and hold that guy, you know, hold that area off for a certain amount of time, rather than just, imagine, you know, I'm coming to the C flag right now, imagine me just getting on the point. You don't even need to work for anything to get kills. If you had to sit on that, you know, that area for 3 seconds, it gives the other team chance to kind of kill you if you haven't got enough people down or enough support with you, so it require a lot more teamwork. But at the moment for me, Blitz is not ready to be in the competitive rules, but from what I'm hearing it's going to be in, and it's going to be okay, but it needs a lot of work to actually be, you know, used long term competitively, I think. And for I-Series, and I think for the first few events, it probably will turn out that Search and Destroy, Domination and Blitz are all going to be used. I think Blitz will only have 2 or 3 maps, because I think it will be once in a best of 5. Domination and S&D will be twice, and this is just from what I'm hearing, from, you know, what rules organisations are using. There is no rules council in this game, like, you know, when we did the Deserter rules. There's no Deserter rules council. I don't know what Deserter were doing. I don't think they're even doing a rule set. I think it's more organisations have got together and they're kind of asking players for opinions. That's what's happened. So there's no, you know, one person making rules or anything like that. It's mainly organisations, LAN events are kind of coming together with it, and that's kind of what I've gathered so far. And I have been asked for my opinion, and a lot of players have been and stuff. So we kind of worked, you know, with a lot of people. There's lots of people involved, so it's not really tailored to one team or anything, or one organisation. The aim is to try and get a global rule set, and that might take a bit of time because, you know, they might have different views in the NA scene, for example. But overall, I mean, at the first I really did think it was a tragic state with the game modes and things like that on the game. But the more I've played the game and the more we've played the game types, I kind of think that for I-Series, if we did have those 3 game types, it wouldn't be too bad. I think that they're okay for now. But my concern is the long term. We need more game types for the long term. There's no way we can play Blitz, Domination and Search and Destroy for a year. I just don't think that will happen. I think if there isn't game modes on this game by, you know, February next year, January even, you know, for the new year, I think it's going to really make this game stale. Personally, I really think the gameplay is really enjoyable. I'm really liking the gameplay. I think you die a tad too quick. We need a bit more health, but at the moment I'm really enjoying the actual gameplay and the feel of the game. It does feel really smooth. That's not changed anything for me. I still think it's an enjoyable game to play. It's just the game modes are absolutely key. I think the maps, there is enough good maps. It's just the game modes like CTF and Hardpoint, I think they would work on this game. Hardpoint is a game mode that with the right hills, right spawns, will work on any map. There's no doubt about that. And CTF, I think the maps are pretty tilted towards that, so I'm hoping they will update it, but you never know with Infinity Ward. I guess we will see on that. But drop your comments below on what you think of the game types and what you want to see in the future and that kind of stuff. And I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for watching. Please drop a like on the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.